Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly Uncensored.
Hello and welcome to Miguel and Holly Uncensored. This is our off-air podcast that you can find on all platforms and the iHeartRadio app. Make sure to leave us a review. And I still haven't heard from our Platypus Posse member that won the money. Tahina, I have not heard from her. Producer
Girl, you
Kelvin,
don't want your money.
Girl, I mean, we're gonna keep it open because maybe you've been on vacation or something. You don't listen all the time.
Right. Did
but
we
yeah.
reach out to her like on Instagram or?
I don't know her Instagram handle, so we'll have to.
Want it.
No,
I'll
she's
look
gonna
it
get it.
up. No, I'm gonna look it up.
She's gonna get it.
Okay, that's creepy.
I want to give you this money.
Yeah, so just make sure
Save your money.
please. Yes.
There's 0 results on Instagram.
We don't know. Well, we need you so we can get you your money, girl. But yeah, leave us a review. Make sure to listen to our other podcast that we have, Miguel and Holly Full Show, Miguel and Holly Queen City Confessions, Miguel and Holly's Blown Off, anywhere you listen to podcasts. So it's the day after the actual Halloween.
Yeah.
How's everybody feeling? Did anyone do anything Halloween-y actually on Halloween?
I mean, we went trick-or-treating.
I escaped the killer.
You escaped a killer? What killer?
Did the killer come up in your home?
Yeah.
What did they do?
I don't know. I don't have any energy to improvise
I was
right
like,
now.
girl,
I don't have energy.
what you gonna do?
I'm
Like, I
sorry.
was like, come on, tell us a story.
I thought you were gonna be like this, this killer, blah blah blah, and then maybe got into all your cereal boxes. It was a serial killer. Ha
No, honestly, I'm creeped out very much by the apartment that I'm living in now. Thankfully, today's the last day. We're going to start moving a few things over to the new apartment that's on the 4th floor. But living on the 1st floor is not it. My windows are open, obviously. And so when I'm walking Jimbo, I can see into my own apartment. And I can imagine everybody else can. So I've had a few thoughts, and especially walking him at 5 a.m. Like specifically this morning, I saw a guy in the parking lot. And the minute that I got out to walk Jimbo, he turned off his headlights.
Oh.
And I was terrified.
Maybe he just didn't want to be blinding you with his headlights, right?
I mean, maybe, but that's like the creepiest thing that you can do when you see somebody come out of their apartment with their dog.
I would be more embarrassed. Like I'm just saying, if it's me and I see someone come out, I'm like, oh my God, they can see me. Let me turn it off. Pretend I'm not here. No, it might be. It's a killer, probably.
Yeah, it's a killer.
That's why, I'm so on it about when it gets to be evening time, I shut the blinds like I'm psychotic. Like I'm like blinds. And I'm like, people can see in.
Right. I'm done.
Obviously, you have something to say, Miguel. You go.
No, I was getting it pulled up as y'all were finishing your stories. I didn't want to talk through and then be like, hold on, let me click around real quick. I didn't realize it was gonna play like that.
Yeah.
Yesterday, speaking of people walking outside during Halloween, I came back from the grocery store, and this is why I love Halloween. I put this on my TikTok. There was just this video or this guy walking his dog with this crazy ass looking mask. Look at this.
This is why I love Halloween.
What is that?
I don't know, but I was like, what?
Also, it's a little silly that he's standing there with.
This is why I love Halloween.
But here's the thing
Tinkling.
with this video. There's so many layers to it. You have to watch the dog.
The dog almost turns upside down to pee. Like, what is going on?
That's what I was like. Not only is there an alien looking man in a red hoodie, but then the dog turns upside down to pee.
The dog's like, wait, I just need to. Can I?
It gets on his
This is why I love Halloween.
And it just starts peeing everywhere. And I'm like, what dog pees like that?
None that I've ever seen. This man is obviously doing something weird to his animals. Like, what is happening?
It just, I don't know why it tickled me, and also was just creepy because Because then too, what happened is I was driving up the street. He was just like looking out. So it's like obviously there's no features on the face. And so it's just like so creepy looking. He's just like,
Is it an alien mask?
I couldn't really get that because by the time I turned in, he was walking up the street, so I couldn't see.
Dog up.
This is why I love Halloween.
Why is the dog? How does the dog even balance on its front paws like that, with its legs up in the air, back legs? How?
Why?
There's so many questions. So many questions.
This is why I love Halloween.
And then I went to the Publix in Cotswold, and I had on my Harry Potter cloak, and I didn't even think anything of it. I'm like, oh, it's Halloween. You would have thought I had on like a gun or something. Everyone was looking at me like
Like it's not normal for like adults to wear Halloween costumes. Maybe not.
Right. I was like, it's Halloween. Like, but then as I was like, in Publix, usually like, when you go to the right, there's like the bakery and then the vegetables and stuff. And I was like, well, maybe I'll see one more person. Not one single person. Then when I went around and there was like the seafood section and everything, I was like, maybe I'll see another person. Literally the whole 10 minutes I was there, not
Damn.
so then it was awkward. So I was trying to like go down aisles where there weren't that many people so they wouldn't look at me. And then there was like, I was done, but I needed one more item. And that was the most populated aisle. So I was just like, whatever. Yeah.
That's why I read an article that said like maybe Halloween is on the decline. Didn't I? I did that in a trending like earlier in the month.
But there was billions of dollars spent. I just think that like most adults do their dressing up the weekend
on a Saturday
before.
night, like on Saturday going to a party.
Right.
Yeah,
And then like
makes
if
sense.
you do like if you go to work and do it on Halloween, it's like some, you're not wearing the skanky priest to your job like you did to the club on Saturday.
Right.
No,
So you're like-
most of the people that were here at the Halloween party that the building had yesterday, they didn't come in costume. Only the morning show people did. Like I did, came in costume. Another morning, like a producer for a morning show came in costume, but everybody else I saw them in like normal clothes. And then I looked again and everybody's got their starting to compile their things, So
I don't know if this is like a shared feeling, but I felt uncomfortable. I was gonna wear the Michael Myers mask and walk Jimbo, but I felt uncomfortable doing that. I don't know why I didn't feel safe.
you
for
didn't
some
feel
odd
safe?
reason. Yeah, I didn't feel safe wearing it for some
Like
reason.
someone was gonna come up and deck you?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
Like during the day or like early in the morning when it's dark?
No, at night.
Oh, see, at night I would be. I mean, listen, we live in a crazy ass society where you can't even like turn around in someone's driveway without being shot at.
Oh,
So
God, I had forgotten about that.
remember, so I understand, but to me, like that guy at my apartment, that was, 3:00 in the afternoon. I think on Halloween, that's acceptable. If I see that 2 weeks from now, I'm calling the authorities.
Absolutely, you can only do it on that one day.
Literally, because like our world is so crazy. The Whole Foods here near my
my
apartment.
God,
Did you see
I
that story?
saw it, and I was I've eaten in that Whole Foods.
Yes.
Like I sat and had my dinner there, and I was like, oh my God. For those that don't know, what Miguel's talking about, unfortunately, there was a woman who was raped in the bathroom of that Whole Foods.
And then you have like a machete.
Yes, held her with a machete. I think maybe it was attempted rape. Did she get away?
I didn't read the full story.
I
When
want to
was
say it was
this?
like
It was
like
this weekend.
2 days ago.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
It was like he attempted rape in the bathroom of this Whole Foods, which is just right in Uptown, right near Miguel's condo apartment. And we've all been to this Whole Foods. And
Oh, here we go.
it was he had the machete. And it was like in the middle of the afternoon, I'm pretty sure. It was like 4 p.m.
Yeah. I mean, it was like pretty like during the day where people are hold on.
Wild.
I just
That's why, and I'm sorry, like if someone is walking around, and I do not care what skin color they have, it could be a white dude, and it's usually dudes. It could be a white dude, black dude, Hispanic dude, whatever. If there's a dude that looks a little shifty to me, I'm gonna like have the full guard up. And it happened when I was late last year. I was in Uptown and I was walking from CVS, which is right near that Whole Foods, the
Mhm.
one that this happened at. I was at the CVS near that Whole Foods, and I had to go back to my hotel. And it was a little bit of a long walk because I had to go like a kind of a long way around to go to that Buffalo Wild Wings there. And I had a bag, and there was like this man coming towards me, and he was like, he just had a weird error. I don't know. I can't explain it. And he did one of those things where he like said some comment about like, hey, pretty lady or whatever. And I just immediately was like, fuck. And so I was in the CVS and then he ended up at the self-checkout behind me. And I was like, fuck. So I left and I tried quick walking, you know what I mean? To like this other corner. And then he left. And then I realized he was going in my same direction. And so I just waited in a corner for him to get out of my entire line of sight so that I didn't have to be around this man because I'm like, well, I don't know. And he might have been fine.
Right. But you better be safe than sorry.
Can't take a chance. And then to see that happened like literally right in that same street area, I was like, oh. God.
Here's the story.
Tonight at 6, shoppers say they're disturbed after learning a man tried to rape a woman at the Whole Foods in Uptown.
It happened over the weekend, and police tell us that the suspect had an axe with him during this alleged attack. WCNC Charlotte's Lexi Wilson has more on this investigation.
CMPD says an Amazon driver was using the restroom here at this Whole Foods in Uptown. Then she was attacked. In Uptown,
crime can happen anywhere.
Whole Foods buzzing with customers Monday.
I would generally say it's safe because they have a police officer that's typically here.
But it's also where a frightening crime took place Friday night. According to CMPD, the victim, an Amazon delivery driver, was followed into the bathroom and nearly raped. Investigators say the suspect had a hatchet, but the woman was able to fight off her attacker and get away.
We should not have to fear that we're going to be in a bathroom and there's a predator or somebody wanting to harm us.
After the incident, police were able to arrest the alleged attacker, 28-year-old Samari Wright. Right now, he remains in jail under a $230,000 bond. Still, people living in the area now on edge.
So I was taught from a really young age to be cautious of your surroundings, and as I do go out and run into the city, I do take precautions.
No one and nowhere is immune to sexual assault. It can happen to anyone, anywhere.
Emily Barnhart is Safe Alliance's sexual assault response team coordinator. She says they work with police, the district attorney's office, and the healthcare system to bring care to victims, but also try and create change in these kinds of cases.
Really coming back to the importance of our society creating a culture that is safe for everyone and spaces that are safe for everyone, and looking at true prevention of sexual assault in people not assaulting others.
Safe Alliance wants victims to know that they're not alone and it's not their fault. To get connected to resources, they encourage that people call their 24/7 HOPE hotline. That's the number that's there on your screen. Reporting in Uptown for WCNC Charlotte, I'm Lexi Wilson.
That's so. I mean, that's literally. I go to that Whole Foods probably once a week.
Yeah.
Not to go grocery shopping, by the way, because it's super expensive. To buy that one thing we forgot.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I forgot cilantro. Go get some.
I know.
$25.
They're opening a Whole Foods right down the street from my house, and I'm like, well, that'll be good to never go in. Shopping at Whole Foods.
But man, that is so scary because it's like right down the street, and like we go by there all the time, and especially on the weekends, we usually will get scooters near there to then go other places in the area.
Right.
It's just we are living in such crazy times right now where it's like you literally have to have your back and your eyes open all the time.
It's almost like impossible to actually do that and also live your life.
Right.
Like it's a double-edged sword, because yes, you do, because I do it, like I said with the story with the CVS. But at the same time, if you really think too much on it, it's almost paralyzing and you don't leave your house. Like it's a weird, almost like a sense of dissociation that you have to have sometimes to even go do things.
That's what I tell my mom all the time, you know, because all she does is watch the news in Atlanta, and I'm like, girl,
stop watching the news.
Especially
so
in
much.
that. And then when I call her or she calls me in the afternoon, and you could hear it in the background, and she'll be talking about something not related to that, and I'll be like, what's on? Turn it off.
Turn it off.
Turn it off.
Turn it off.
And then it was the worst. Like I was like, my mom is literally never going to leave her apartment. There was this big story in Atlanta. These two guys went missing. They worked together and they couldn't find them. And it had been like a week or something. And then all of a sudden, the car that they were last seen in was parked right in front of my mom's apartment.
Yeah.
No. I was like, well, that's it. My mom's never gonna leave. Like,
nope.
This is it.
Not going anywhere.
This is it. And they still never. I think they did find their remains somewhere, but they don't know exactly what happened to these two guys.
Oh my good
to the
God.
no.
And then Jody said a few years back, I was in a store with my daughter, was in a cart. A man just looked at her weird, and I asked to have someone walk me out.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, what are some situations that you've been in like that where you just felt weird, like something was wrong? Because I remember there was a few years ago when we were living in St. Pete, and there was a guy at Enigma, the gay bar. And I just remember, like, I wasn't drunk, I was tipsy, but he just walked in by himself, and he just, and I hate use, I don't want to use, his eyes just looked very intense. I'll say that. He had big bug eyes, and he just looked very intense. And he walked in, ordered a drink, and then just posted up against one of the pillars in the club, and just had his drink and was just staring at people. And I don't know why, like, I just had that, like, something's not right here.
Right.
And so I went to one of the bartenders who I know, and I was like, I don't want to get anybody kicked out. I don't want to cause any trouble. But with everything that's gone on, and this was maybe a year or two after Pulse, I was like, can y'all just have the security guard just go check?
Yeah.
Just to make sure. And so I don't know, like, what came of it, because I saw somebody go up to him, and I was like, whoop, I don't want to be here for this.
You're like, and I'm out.
I would have stayed in the corner by the door.
No, don't want to stay here for that.
Just watch.
Oh, goodness.
I would say feeling unsafe, probably a few Grindr hookups back in the day.
Oh, no.
Like when you would go over, because you really don't know whose house you're going to. But
No.
of course, the horny devil is in your ear telling you, just go have fun.
I mean, there are some situations I look back on, and I'm like, I cannot believe I did that. Like, to me, the biggest one, Holly, you remember this story. This was like when we were unemployed in Tampa the first time, and I'd lost my mind. I was just going crazy. I was like,
we've all been there, and like, not just once either. Like, everyone's had, maybe not everyone, but I've had multiple instances in my life where I've had to screw loose myself.
You do. You make decisions that you normally wouldn't make.
Correct.
And at this time, we had lost our jobs. And that's when I learned that radio was my identity. And I remember at this time I was single, and I'd talk to guys, and they'd be like, you know, what are your interests? What are you into? And I'd be like, I don't know. Because like radio was always my identity. Like what I do, my job is what I do. But anyway, so this guy was like, hey, come to this apartment somewhere in the Gandy area on the Tampa side. And I remember driving over there, and he was
feels like a shady area to me anyway.
I know, right? Well, especially, now it's a little bit not like they've built it up.
Yeah,
but this was back in 2013. No, this was 2012. This is right before I moved.
Yeah.
And so I remember going over there, and then, oh God, this is horrible. Mom, parents-in-law, stop listening.
Yeah. I want to hear it.
So I get to the apartment, and he's like, just come inside. And I walk inside, and I'm like, why does he have a name tag on his shirt?
My favorite story.
And as
I
like,
have a lot of favorites for this.
And like, as he's like looking at me, and he's like, wait, hold on. And he takes his tool belt off, and he is the maintenance man for that apartment complex. And that was a model apartment that we were in.
Yes.
Did I turn around and leave? No,
you did not.
Dumbass was like, all right, let's go.
Well, seems a little weird, but okay.
Like,
he was pretty hot, though, I think you said.
I think so. But what's so funny is, like, back in the day, because we weren't working then, but we had a podcast with Kramer at that point.
We did.
And I told the story, and one of the listeners who looked like me, who was like a shorter, bigger black guy, he was like, what's this man's name?
Oh my God.
What website did you talk to him on? And we exchanged information. He was like, I did the same thing like 3 months before you did.
There's this man having a type.
There's a lot of layers.
Yes,
to that
apartment. I'm just glad that I just oh God.
I wish I had a story to tell, but I just know I've gone to Grindr hookups where it's not been, the safest, I would say. Like you go in and the bed's on the floor kind of thing.
Yes.
It's
Oh my
always
gosh.
awkward. Like way back in the day when I was like, I didn't date much. I did not go on many dates as a young lady because it stressed me out. Like I didn't understand the dynamics of it. I'm a person that, much like Miguel, like there was no casual dating for me. Like I would go on a date and be like, so I guess we're going to be getting married pretty soon. I just didn't date well.
Right.
And so I was living in Findlay, Ohio. And obviously I same type of thing. My life was my job. And when you're not doing your job and you're not doing something having to do with your job, I was like, well, I don't know. And dating sites didn't really exist or whatever, but I had friended somebody on MySpace, I think, because MySpace was the thing. And like there were cute people around your area that were on MySpace. And so I had friended this gentleman on MySpace and we chatted for a little bit and he's like, hey, why don't you come over and we can hang out and get to know each other? Should I have done that? No. Did I do that? Yes, I absolutely did that.
Did.
Dumb bitch. God, I was such a dummy. So I'm really trying to work hard so that Maya's not a dummy. Because like my mom just was out here with zero advice, zero care to know what was going on.
Margaret did tell you to eat a chicken wing before you went on date so you didn't get drunk.
She did tell me that.
There
and
was
I think
that.
I'm pretty sure I ate. I did eat something. That was good advice. I'm going to write that down. Eat something. Chicken wing, something. I remember her going to chicken wing something. Yes, thank you, Mom.
Ooh, that's a good bit. What dating advice did your parents give you growing up?
Thank you for reminding me because I forgot that.
I never
chicken
got any.
wing or something. You might have. You just forgot. Maybe forgot because I forgot the chicken
My
wing.
mom said, "Don't be with no punk."
Did you listen to that though?
No, I did not. I actively ran towards the punks.
You did 100%. But and this dude lived in an apartment. He was cute, obviously, on MySpace. And so I went to his apartment. Why would I go to a strange man's apartment that I don't know?
You were H-word.
Yes, I was just stupid. Ate something, went there, and then knocked on the door. And I had noticed in the parking lot of the apartment complex, in Ohio, this would have been like 2006 maybe, and I don't even know if Ohio still does this or not. If you get like either a full DUI or like you have multiple DUIs or something, when you get a DUI, they give you a different color license plate, which I don't know that's actually, I don't know if I agree with that idea necessarily, but they did it. And like I said, I don't know if they're still doing it, but they were yellow plates, like yellow with like different color writing, and those Ohio license plates were white with like blue writing or whatever. So it was very standoutish. And we called them party plates because you'd be like, oh, somebody got a party plate. Again, this was a different time and we were very stupid.
Come on, early 2000. They're like, they got a party plate. Like, no, that
was
could have
actually
killed
terrible.
someone.
It was just really terrible. And like, it brings up lots of questions now that I'm saying all this out loud. But I noticed a car in the parking lot had a party plate, and I'm like, oh, somebody got a party plate here. Oh dear. Go to this man's house. There are beer cans all over the place, on the floor, all empty, half empty, on like the furniture, on different things. And I walk in, he's like, you want to watch in fill in the blank movie? And I was like, okay. And he's like, here's a beer. And he hands me some like Miller Lite or whatever. And he's like pounding these Miller Lights. And through the course of like the movie, I didn't stay for the whole movie, by the way, he probably drank 4 beers to my like, didn't even finish the one. And I was like, it's him. He's got the party plates. I think this man has got the party plates. And it was like a dark apartment. And I don't even remember the movie because all I could think was, I have to get out of this apartment. And I was just, the whole time, I'm just plotting my escape. And I don't remember what it was. I'm like, I have to stay long enough that it doesn't look weird, but I can't stay too long that he gets too drunk on all these fucking beers.
Right.
And somehow I managed to be like, I'm not feeling well or something. I did manage to make my escape, and I shut it down immediately. Never. I was like,
I have explosive diarrhea. Sorry, I gotta go home.
Sure, I said anything to get out of there. It was so dumb. Oh my God. I'm just so mad at myself now, but thankfully nothing happened. But yeah, that was my bad experience.
That reminds me of the time that I met a guy on now this taking it way back to 2007 when I lived in Savannah, and this was right after college. And I met a guy on Craigslist, and this was like like the iPhones at that time.
Craigslist.
Yeah, we didn't have apps because back then the iPhone had just come out. So there was no Grindr, there was no Tinder, Hinge, none of that. It was like, Yahoo Personals or, the stuff that's retired now, like gay.com, Adam for Adam.
Oh my God, you used to talk about Adam for Adam all the time.
There was that, and then there was one other one. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But anyway, I met him on Craigslist, went over to his house, and he was like, God, so stupid.
I know. And now that you say it out loud, are you like cringing so hard?
It is, because I'm thinking about like this whole like experience where he was like, park across the street, then come through the back gate, and then I'm gonna open my window, and you're going to climb through the window.
Bitch.
And of course I said, okay.
Yes, you did.
And I did it. And then my fucking 21-year-old ass parks across the street, walks in through the back gate, climbs in. And then the moment that I was like, wait, something is wrong, is when I climb in the room and it is pitch dark, like black in there.
I forgot about it being dark. I
It
didn't
was
even know if I
dark.
knew that it was dark.
Right. And then I just remember like and this, God, I really hope my parents will stop listening. For like these sort of hookups back in the day, like there was no talking. Like you were there for just one thing only. And so like you would just say hi and then we would start kissing.
Oh,
but then like
feels so. I'm so glad I'm not a gay man. Like,
No.
oh dear God.
But then, like at that point, like that's because first off, the lights being off creeped me out, and so I already was just kind of like stiff and like not comfortable.
Right.
And then it was just like those little like, and his hands were cold, and I just remember being like, I don't like this. I don't like this. I'm uncomfortable. So then I don't even remember what I said. I just remember being like, I have got to go. I can't be Miguel nice and try to like do. I was just like, I'm not comfortable. I gotta go. And then I think he was like, you F word. That he may have said the N word. And I was just like, listen to your instincts. And I climbed back out of the window.
Oh God, not like Dawson's Creek style. Like.
Jeez. Oh, that's so creepy.
Oh my God. Like I said, this is 2007. I was 21.
The early 2000s were a wild time. The internet was just coming into its own, truly. It was not
Craigslist.
I'm glad. Thank you, Carly said, who hasn't climbed through a window or two? And then Jody said, I met my husband on Plenty of Fish and we got made fun of all the time.
Because Plenty of Fish doesn't have a lot of great success stories. I'm glad yours was one, Jody.
Right.
Oh dear.
Hold on. We got a couple of topics out of this conversation. Already got down. What dating advice did your parents give you? And then we're gonna worst hookup stories. Ugh. I don't know if I want to tell that one on the air. Just let that live on the podcast. God.
No, don't. That's a bad one.
Like that just sounds so like not who I am now. Like that just like
I know
sounds insane.
We're so stupid back then. Like I'm so scared for my daughter because it's like I know she's gonna make these stupid, awful choices and decisions, but like it's because you're a child and you don't really know and you don't have the wisdom to be like, wow. Like, let me separate from like, this might not be a good idea from like, this is a fucking terrible idea. And like 20 somethings do not have that decision making process. It's just all like, maybe it'll be okay. And it's not.
It's such a thin line. It's such a thin line. It's horny or danger.
Yes. It takes age and like, I guess maybe you have to go through that to like get the knowledge that like how unsafe it truly is. But like you're in such danger,
Some
especially
people don't.
nowadays.
Well, some people don't overcome it.
They don't.
Maybe they don't.
Until it's the post, clarity.
Oh, after you've reached the top of the mountain and then you're like, wait, I just put myself in a very dangerous situation.
I've not experienced that, I must say. Usually my ding, 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 ding bell is going off much prior to that. Because I also one time left a guy's house because like he had started taking some clothes off and he was so like just very painfully thin. And I was like,
oh,
you like what you like.
Right.
Yeah.
She's like, I can't do this.
I can't do this. I can't, like, I couldn't do it. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I have to go.
That
I'm
really
so sorry.
sucks because I just remember like a friend, because they used to make fun of me. My friend, they'd be like, girl, you could be like in the middle of doing it with someone and then you'd still be like, do you like me? Like, do you really want to be here? And my friends were like, if they're in the bed with you, Miguel, like, it's like, that's fine. You've taken your clothes off. Apparently not with Holly.
Not with me. Like I make these decisions in the moment of. I'm so sorry.
Damn.
My heart.
You
I
should
would have
definitely
been
be thinking that because I might be thinking that I don't like you.
Damn.
I would have been like, well, I'm just gonna go jump off this bridge right
I
now.
know, it's not like I didn't feel
Probably
that.
hasn't
Like,
recovered since.
we'd
Actually,
had good conversation up until then and had been on some dates, like several dates, and like then
Even
things
worse.
were happening. I know. And then it's like I don't know, maybe my alarm doesn't go off until it gets like right down to it, and then the clarity comes, and I'm like, oh, I can't do this.
That's why women survive longer than men.
Well, especially gay men, because gay men just don't have that. Like when you, and I feel like that's the difference between, especially gay men, because it's two men. And when you're in the cloud of you're ready to get it. It's like the dumb decisions you will make.
Yeah, I can understand that.
On the journey of trying to reach the top of the mountain is literally insane. Like if I were to take out that from like that want from my spirit, there are so many less dangerous situations I would have put myself in, because when you're in it, you're like, especially back in those days before phones, where we would like text and have all the apps to occupy our time, I would just be sitting in the chat rooms and stuff, chatting with people, and then you just get worked up and you're like, I'm gonna go climb through that window. I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, I think that's where for women, it's like this intuition that's really there, and maybe you can ignore it up until a certain point. And I'm not saying this for all women and all men, obviously. I'm painting with a very broad brush. But like you get into that situation and you're just like, suddenly the little like whisper where it's like, do you really like this or this? Or like, let's be nice. Let's give it one more try. It's like the whisper becomes a 5-alarm fire warning siren sometimes when you're in those situations, or like you allow it to happen, but then you're like, I have to get out of this because I feel dangerous. I've unfortunately had that situation before happen too, where I'm like, I would not like to do this, but I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to make my escape because I don't know what will happen if I don't. And that really sucks. That really sucks.
You should never have to be in that position to where you're only doing it just because you want to feel safe and not have something bad happen to you.
I bet that a lot of women have that story.
Man.
Which sucks. It sucks. There's just like, if I could pass along any knowledge maybe to my daughter or to anybody else, it's to try to hone your own listening skills to listen to the whisper and not wait until it's a shout. But I had trouble with it too. So it's not like I'm not trying to be preachy. Like, obviously I had trouble doing it too, but it would be to try to hone that craft, because there's a difference between anxiety and like your actual intuition whispering at you. It's more of a steady, calm, like, this isn't great.
But
this isn't great.
I would always get anxiety before a hookup. I don't know if you guys went through that as well, but I would get very shaky. Would that happen?
I would, yes. I was always nervous.
Yeah.
Is that nerves, or is that like your intuitive, voice telling you this is dangerous?
No, because not every hookup was like, stranger danger.
I think that's anxiety then. That's just like performance anxiety.
100%. Well, and especially back in the day, like I remember fuck, I forgot about this story. I'm thinking about a time where I was like really nervous and I was like, no, it was I should have been scared. I should have been nervous. I just moved to Panama City, so this was probably the summer of 2008 or fall of 2008. And it was a guy off of manhunt.com. That was the other site.
That was another one.
Manhunt.
These site names bring me back.
Right?
Oh my God.
Man. And I was on
and me not even questioning anything as like trying to be like your best ally. I was like, okay, so
get
Manhunt.
it. Yeah,
okay,
manhunt.com.
Like a good site.
Yeah. I'm just sitting here talking to these people. And so we lived on the beach in Panama City Beach in this apartment. And this guy lived, I think in Fountain.
Oh,
Florida.
that's far. No,
Yeah.
you don't understand. That's far.
That's like a 45 to hour long drive. And I remember I went there like late at night, and then he gave me directions. And this was before GPS was on your phone.
You had to like print out MapQuest.
MapQuest.
And I think I like borrowed Holly's like GPS to get there.
I did have a GPS.
Yes.
I got it as a parting gift from my former job. Somebody gave me, it was a Garmin. You know, you stuck it on the window.
Yes, I had it. I think I borrowed it from you, and I
Yeah.
drove up there. And first off, he was like, hey, can you pick me up some cigarettes from this convenience store
Like the
before you come?
audacity, by the way. Go get your own damn cigarettes.
But I was 22, so I said, okay, let's go. And so the road he told me to turn down, it was like a left, and it was like, okay, obviously you're not on like a main road because it's kind of like half dirt, half road, paved road.
Mhm.
And then where he told me to take a left, it was like through not a cornfield, but like it was a field basically.
Was
And-
there a road?
No, there was no road. It was just like turn left here. And I go, and there was 2 double wide trailers, and he was like, come to the first trailer. I should have said, this is a midnight. I'm in the panhandle of Florida as a black gay man.
Yeah, even
in
my mom told me
2007.
Yeah, my
2008.
mom was even like, as a woman from the north, don't ever go any crazy places out in the panhandle. They don't take kindly to our
No. And here I am.
Your mom
just-
said the same to you, I'm sure.
Yes, and here I am just putting my ass right in danger. Was I nervous for my safety? No, I was nervous because I was like, well, I got as most recent picture as possible, but it was from when I first moved to Panama City, and then after I moved there, like we ate a lot and had gained a few pounds. I was more nervous about that than my motherfucking safety. Like, what the fuck? If I
Again,
could go back in time
Our
right
brain
now
is not connected.
and just like be transported into the passenger seat, and that Miguel could look at now Miguel, and I'd be like, you dumb bitch, turn around.
Yeah, I know.
And then come to find out later on, once I got to know more people in Panama City, that he was like a drug dealer in the closet.
Yeah.
Whew.
Good times.
A lot of
Well,
drug
there you
dealers.
go.
Good times.
All right. Well, I think that's just a good place to end.
That's fine. Let's be done. I'm done with this.
Might be the teaser clip.
I want to go take a shower.
Do not put one of my hookup stories.
Yeah, well, girl, there was like 7.
Oh no.
Oh, fuck me. Kelvin, what's your
Craigslist? That was the title.
I'm gonna be like the dark side of Craigslist. Isn't
Miguel
all
said-
of Craigslist the dark side? Like
Miguel said, okay.
Yeah, it all is. Kelvin, what's your social media?
At Kelvin Live, TikTok, Twitter, X, Instagram. Did I say that already?
Yeah.
Craigslist.
Craigslist.
Oh, damn.
Holly, what's all your social media?
Radio Holly, all the things. Venmo, like you want to whatever. It's all Radio Holly. You'll find me there.
Mine is Miguel Fuller. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Be Real, and on Peloton.